WeatherTrack Mobile version 3.1 overview, site overview and site map. And at long last, I'm excited to present to you the features of WeatherTrack Mobile 3.1, where we add mobile mapping and other great features to WeatherTrack Mobile. For instance, if you remember the coming soon message on WeatherTrack 3.0, you'll be happy to see the new site overview tool on the sites page. This page features a 7-day weather forecast from the IBM weather system, so a water manager could use this information to know if they want to pause the system based on the weather forecast. It's important that WeatherTrack users understand that this prediction is not the same weather source as the ET Everywhere that will power the scheduling engine. In addition, the site overview tools will also display some high-level mapping tools, as well as some controller alert information that can help a manager understand what's going on out on his site. And now for the mobile mapping demonstration, we'll come back to the sites page, select the site that we want to manage, and then go to the top of the screen and select the mapping pin to manage the map for this site. And if this is the first time you've ever looked at this map, there will only be 2 pins in the map, a site pin and a controller pin, that were dropped when the controller was activated, but will likely need to be moved to the proper location on the map. To do this, you'll simply unlock the asset pins using the lock and unlock icon at the top of the display, and then touch the icon that you want to move until you see it grab, and drag and drop that into the location that you want it. And once it's in the proper location, remember to relock the icons on the map. Now let's talk about the workflow for adding an asset to a site. For this, we start at the sites page and select the site that we want, and then we go up here into the top right corner and select the mapping icon, which will bring up our site map. And then as we zoom in, we'll see a Google image of our site and a WeatherTrack mapping pin for every asset that we've tagged in our landscape. So here's where we would mark our master valves and flow sensors and mark every asset that we want to manage on our site. Notice, just like in Google Maps, my own location is represented by a small blue dot. So as you walk around the site, you can see your own physical location in relationship to the assets that you manage. And if you want to add an asset, while you're standing there, you'll just hit this add button here at the bottom of the display. And this will say add a pin, and we'll have you select what type of pin you want to add into the map. So in this case, we want to add a valve. So we select the valve icon, and this brings us back to the map. And the pin will have been dropped in my physical location. And then we ask you to verify the location of the asset by holding down this pin and dragging it to where it belongs in the map. Once you sign off on the placement of the pin, then you'll hit the check mark at the bottom of the screen. And this will take you to the asset details page, where we document the details of this asset, like using your device to take pictures of the asset. And the device will handle as many as 4 pictures per asset. You can take one of the device itself, and then maybe one of the location where the asset lives in the landscape, and then document all of the other asset details. And the only asset details you'll be required to input is to assign this asset to either a controller or a station or both. So we can start to tie all of these assets together, like which controller and station this asset belong to. And then, if you choose, you can document all of the other details of this asset, like adding a name for this valve or identifying the manufacturer or the size of this valve. In addition, you can leave notes about the maintenance history of this asset. So if I went out to this site and repaired this valve, I could leave a record of what I did when I was on site. And once you've put in all of the detail that you have patience to document, you hit save, and that asset will be saved onto the map and into the controller inventory. And once you've completed marking that asset, you're ready to move on to the next one. Notice that when you go to choose an asset, that all of the different irrigation equipment that you use should be represented with different pins. So there's a good variety and substance of pre-existing pins, but if you have something unique, you can always use the custom pin. With the new mapping features, there is one pin that we want to discuss specifically. That's the pin called Station Location. And the Station Location pin is designed to mark where a station's heads turn on in the field, or where water starts to come up when the station is turned on. When you program this station location, you'll tie it directly to a valve. And then, when you're walking around the site, if you touch one of these station locations, it will automatically allow you to turn that station on manually. Now let's look at what it'll feel like on a large site once all of the assets are documented. Using the site mapping tools, you'll be able to look at all of the sites on the overhead Google map and zoom in, you'll be able to use the pins to say what valve is this, as well as drill into the information of any particular asset. I'll be able to use the search features to say where is station 12, and once I find it, I can use the built-in Google mapping features to locate that asset on a Google map and get turn-by-turn directions so I can drive right to it. Another great way to locate assets on the map is to use the filtering tool, where if I hit this filter, I can filter this map by asset type and only show particular types of assets. So if I'm looking for a specific valve, I can filter out all of the other types of assets and only display where the valves are, or those station locations where the water might be running. And if you want to move an existing asset when you're in the map, you're going to need to hit the unlock button. And when you see it unlock, you'll be able to drag and drop existing assets inside the map. Remember to relock the display when you're done. So with WeatherTrack Mobile 3.1, we're excited to introduce the concept of mobile mapping into our technology. We hope you like it, and we think that it'll make managing your sites a little bit easier.